All right, good evening, Shannon, and namaste, everyone. Thank you for joining in this class on Jyotish Foundation. So we have been exploring the planets in the signs and how those planets give you results as per the, as per the aspects and other technical things. Okay, so we have discussed till Mercury in the last class, and today we will be looking at Jupiter in different signs. Okay, and Jupiter, of course, represents the grace that is working in our lives 24/7. Okay, it is the divine grace that is there for each of us. All right, and Jupiter, of course, is regarded as the greatest benefic. Okay, so how does this, you know, how does this impact all of us? Okay, so in Aries, the person, when Jupiter goes into Aries, the person is, of course, of a pious nature, could be argumentative because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, blessed with a lot of, blessed with ornaments and precious stones. That is what Parashara says. Is wealthy, famous, adorable, you know, spender of money, okay, may receive a position by maternal relatives, and could be having a lot of body injuries. Okay, I've seen people having this Jupiter in Aries. They often carry some scars in while in the while in the womb of the mother. Okay, so it happens. All right, because Aries is a very proactive sign. All right, then comes Vrishabha. So this is it can make you obese because Vrishabha, of course, represents food and drinks, and Jupiter represents the fats in the body. Okay, so it can make you obese, healthy. However, it can give you a lot of devotion. Okay, because Vrishabha, of course, is the sign of Venus, and Jupiter, exalts Jupiter exalts Venus. Okay, because Venus gets exalted in Pisces, so it makes you really, really devoted to the divine. Okay, it can also make you serve Brahmins and cows because Venus, of course, represents the cow. Okay, it blesses one with good looks. Makes one fortunate, devoted to the spouse, and also blesses one with cattle and lands. Apart from making one very wise and benevolent. Okay, Jupiter in Mithuna. So this can make you a counselor, a wise counselor, minister. Okay, that means you can be a. This is also a good position to see if this is also a position to see if people are looking to excel in public service. For example, the UPSC examinations in India. Okay, it can make one a minister, blessed with a lot of friends and sons, of course, because Mercury represents friends. Okay, it can give, it can make one be very religiously inclined as well as have good oratory skills. Okay, Jupiter in Cancer, so this makes one wealthy, learned, have a beautiful body, religiously inclined, uh, you know, truthful, adorable, as well as a very, it makes one have very good public speaking skills. Okay, because Jupiter exalts in the sign of Cancer, and Jupiter is all about bringing people together. How well people come to you. Can you gather? Can you build up a crowd with your, with your presence or with your communication? Okay. Then comes Jupiter in Leo. So this makes one, strong-bodied, learned, wealthy, pious. It can make one. It can make one into a leader. Okay. So Jupiter in the sign of Surya can make one a very good politician as well. Okay, and it can also give an inclination to reside in forests and mountains rather than in the city. Jupiter in Virgo, so this makes one have a very good intellect. Okay, the person is very learned, fond of scents and flowers, and the person will be well versed in several branches of learning. Okay, what if Jupiter is in Libra? Okay, in that case, the person can earn from business. Okay, will be soft in speech, well versed in the material as well as the spiritual aspect of things. Would be a trader because Libra, of course, is a sign of business. Okay, and the person could also earn from foreign lands, from sources in foreign land status. Okay, so Jupiter in Scorpio, so this can make one into a writer, into a social commentator of sorts, into people who review books and films. Okay. And however, such a person can be prone to anger issues and can also be found in indulging in things which are forbidden for the normal society. Okay. So there are several gurus or several religious teachers who have been embroiled in in sex scandals, can be seen having Jupiter in Scorpio. Okay, so you can check their charts. Again, Jupiter in Sagittarius, so this makes one a religious preceptor, wealthy, charitable, helpful to others. Okay, have a high rank in his or her career, as well as it can make one visit foreign lands as well as pilgrimage places. Okay. Jupiter debiliates in Makara in the sign of Capricorn, so this makes one servile and toilsome, takes away your physical pleasures. Okay, it can make you indulge in forbidden deeds, it can make one irreligious, it can make one a coward, and can cause separation from the homeland or from the family. Jupiter in Kumbha. So although Jupiter debilitates in a Saturnine sign, it actually does well in the other Saturnine sign of Aquarius. Okay. So this this Varahamihira, he says a very important thing, that Jupiter in Aquarius gives the same results as Jupiter in Cancer. Okay. So that is one big statement coming from Varahamihira. Okay, so it means Jupiter in Aquarius actually gives good results because Aquarius is the sign of networks. Okay, so it makes you have a very strong network. Okay, so I have seen Jupiter in Capricorn people get rich often. So debilitated Jupiter just means that they may be rich by wrong means. No, it means debilitated Jupiter, if any planet gets debilitated, it means you have to really learn the significations of those planets in this lifetime. Okay, so you're not born with those significations. Those significations will come, it will not come naturally to you. Okay, for example, say someone has Mars in Cancer. Okay, so the person will often try to run away from conflicts and fights because the person does not know how to fight, or the person does not want to fight. Similarly, people having Jupiter in Capricorn, they will not want to go ahead and expand their work or their business or their career. They just want to, they will be doing something and they will be wanting to remain in that something for for as long as they want. Okay, for example, someone whose father has a cloth business and now he has inherited that cloth business from the father and he's not looking to expand anything of that business. That means he wants to remain in the shadow of his father. So that is how Jupiter behaves when it gets debilitated. It does not allow you to expand. Similarly, Jupiter also does not give you adequate rewards when it is debilitated. That means you may be doing a lot of work in your career or in your office, but then you will not be recognized, nor you will be appreciated, nor you will get the appropriate, nor you will be adequately compensated for your efforts. So if these people have gotten rich, it means they are willing to break free from the limitations, or they have broken free from the limitations that are imposed by a debilitated Jupiter. Okay, so Jupiter in Kumbha, Jupiter in Aquarius, I've also seen these people be very, very intelligent, but then they have a lot of greed about themselves. Okay, they can be sickly and they may suffer from abdominal as well as dental diseases. Okay. Now Jupiter in Pisces, so this makes one well versed in the scriptures. Okay, it can make one work in religious institution, in spiritual organizations. For example, you have these big ashrams where people can go and volunteer. So these people will be really interested in that, and they are very adorable by nature. Okay, and fame comes due to spirituality. Okay, so next we will be looking at the aspects of Jupiter in different signs. So of course we know that Jupiter has 3 aspects: the 5th aspect, the 7th aspect, and the 9th aspect. Okay, so the 5th aspect stands for wisdom. Okay, just yesterday I had done a video on the special aspects of Saturn, the secret meanings of Saturn's aspects. So just like the 3rd aspect denotes the most difficult aspect of Saturn, similarly the 5th aspect of Jupiter, it denotes wisdom. That means you will be wise in that area where Jupiter is giving its 5th aspect. Okay, so for example, say the 5th aspect of Jupiter is in the 10th house of completing work. You would be really, really wise as to how you would be really You will have a lot of wisdom as to how you complete work or how to proceed about any kind of work that you are given. The seventh aspect of Jupiter, it represents completion. That means you will feel very complete in that area. Okay, it represents wholeness or wholesome. And the ninth aspect of Jupiter, that is the most difficult aspect. Okay, just like the third aspect of Saturn is the most difficult, the ninth aspect of Jupiter is also most difficult, because this is where Jupiter is going to put you out of your comfort zone and make you toil. Okay, but the saving grace is that because it is aspecting the ninth house from itself, so it will save that ninth house instead of allowing it to just go away. Okay, so the good thing about the ninth aspect of Jupiter is no matter wherever the ninth aspect of Jupiter falls, you have to learn a lot of things about that house. Okay, about the significations of that house, about the situations and the people represented by that house. But the good thing is that Jupiter allows you to make mistakes. You know, it'll still save you from a lot of trouble, even if you do a lot of mistakes in that area. So you're allowed to make more mistakes so that you can learn more in that area. Okay, so as I said, we'll be looking at Jupiter aspecting the signs of Mars, that is Aries or Scorpio. So if Jupiter aspects the sun in Aries or Scorpio, such a person will be very pious, religious, and truthful, famous, as well as having a hairy body. If the Jupiter aspects the moon in either Aries or Scorpio, so of course Scorpio moon is debilitated, so this can make one, have emotional trauma, go through a lot of emotional trauma. Okay, it can also make one soft mannered, loved by the spouse and religiously inclined. Okay, Jupiter aspecting Mars in Aries or Scorpio, so this makes one brave, aggressive, destroying the pride of his or her opponents, as well as it can turn one into a leader. Okay, Jupiter aspecting Aries, Jupiter aspecting Mercury in Aries or Scorpio, so this can make one prone to arguments, or it can make one very argumentative. Okay, it can make one a nitpicker who often notices the shortcomings of others. Okay, and it can give a false sense of politeness about these people can have a false sense of politeness about themselves, and they can often resort to falsehood to accomplish their work, to accomplish their tasks. Okay, Jupiter aspecting Venus in Aries or Scorpio, such a person is blessed with good looks, can be blessed with good clothes, ornaments, as well as females and other physical pleasures. However, such a person is usually cowardly by nature. Okay, now Saturn debilitates in Aries, and in Scorpio, Saturn becomes very hostile. So such a Saturn would would make a person greedy, ugly, unstable in friendship and other relations. Okay, so then we have Jupiter in the signs of Taurus or Libra, okay, which are Venusian signs. Okay, so in Taurus or Libra, if Jupiter aspects the Sun in Taurus or Libra, of course we know that the Sun debilitates in Libra. So such a person can be a wanderer, can be of service to the government. Okay, and can be a globetrotter. That means move from one place to the other, learning new things. Okay, blessed with vehicles, cattle, and so on. All right. If Jupiter aspects the moon in either Vrishabha, which is the exaltation sign of the moon, or Libra, then such a person is very rich, having a beautiful body, adored by the female gender, and also indulgent in a lot of sensual pleasures. Okay. Jupiter aspecting Mars in Aries or Scorpio, such a person would be honored by the ruler of the land, liked by women and children, and also be very learned and wealthy. Okay, Jupiter aspecting Mercury in Taurus or in Libra. In that case, such a person can be learned, clever, likable, virtuous, and good looking. So one of the best adjusters, that means people who can adjust to any circumstances or any situations in life, they will have this Mercury being aspected or joining Jupiter in either Taurus or in Libra. Okay, so Jupiter aspecting Venus in Taurus or Libra, so this makes one very wealthy, famous. It makes one mascot for cleanliness. Such a person would like everything to be clean, everything to be in order. Okay, and these people can also enjoy a lot of comforts when it comes to them. Okay, so Jupiter aspecting Saturn in Taurus or Libra, Saturn of course becomes exalted in Libra, and as a result, the person will be, will be scholarly, will be wealthy, as well as, you know, as well as be the head of a town or village. Okay, for example, stand in an election and win that election. And however, the problems will come from the female gender. Okay. So next we have Jupiter in the signs of Mercury. That means in Jupiter aspecting the planets and the signs of Mercury. That means in Gemini or in Virgo. So the Sun, Jupiter aspecting the Sun in Gemini or Virgo. So this can make the person into the head of a village, have a very large family, and make him or her well known all around. Okay. So if Jupiter is aspecting the Moon in either Gemini or Virgo, Moon, we have to remember that Mercury and Moon are enemies. So presence of Moon in any mercurial sign or presence of Moon with Mercury can drain out, can drain out all the water from the Moon. That means it can drain out your virya, okay, your ojas factor. Okay, so such a person, having Jupiter aspecting this Moon in either Gemini or in Virgo will be virtuous, will be famous, wealthy, will be liked by his mother and his or her paternal side, and will also have a lot of good qualities about himself or herself. Okay, so Jupiter aspecting Mars in Gemini or, in Gemini or Virgo. Okay, so such a person will be very indulgent in physical pleasures, victorious in all his or her endeavors, wealthy, adorable, and can have certain amount of scars from injury to the body. Okay. Jupiter aspecting Mercury in Gemini or Virgo. So it can, this is a combination for being an astrologer, for being a sculptor, a good speaker, blessed with wife and kids. Okay. Jupiter in Gemini or Jupiter in Gemini or Virgo aspecting Venus. So such a person is blessed with lifelong wealth, can have a problem with houses. Okay. And can be addicted to, to women of easy morals, okay, who do not have a morality. So Jupiter aspecting Saturn in Gemini or Virgo. So this can, give you a career as the head of a police, or the head of a village or a city. It can also give you good looks as well as a lot of honors by the ruler. That means by the ruling dispensation. All right. Then Jupiter aspecting the Moon in Cancer. Right. So what happens if Jupiter aspects the Sun in Cancer? Then it can lead to the loss of, your the wealth of your spouse as well as your progeny. It can also mean acquisition of your property by someone else. Okay. Jupiter aspecting the Moon in Cancer. So it can make you the controller to the king's treasure. Okay. Wealthy, make you have a very high status as well as give you a lot of comforts in life. All right. Jupiter aspecting Mars in Cancer. So what happens? This is a case of, a debilitated Mars. So it can make one have a young girl for a spouse or a young boy for a spouse. Okay. It can also make one very wealthy and scholarly. So Jupiter aspecting Mercury in, in Cancer. So this can make one earn favors from siblings. It can make one wealthy. And this is a person who can actually start building his or her wealth from scratch and then keep on building an empire. However, these people are not trustworthy with their words. Okay. So Jupiter aspecting Venus in Cancer. So it can give you, it can give you many spouses. It can give you a lot of fame as well as make you very fortunate. Okay. Jupiter aspecting Saturn in the sign of Cancer. So Saturn in Cancer is a big Raja Yoga, as I said. It ensures the blessings of Yamaraj. Okay. So such a person can be the, can be the head of a society or a building or a town or even, an army. Okay. And people having this combination, they like to take physical pleasures in old age. Okay. Because Cancer is a watery sign, and a planet like Saturn in Cancer likes to spread the water by taking pleasure in your old age. Okay. Just give me a couple of minutes. I just need to refill my water bottle. Okay, just give me a couple of minutes. Okay. So Jupiter in the sign of Leo, right? So this can make one inclined to, if Jupiter aspects the sun, if Jupiter aspects the sun in the sign of Leo, this can make one inclined to excessive spending. It can make one famous, okay, kind-hearted. It can make one a king, okay. And Jupiter aspecting the sun in the sun sign, this is a combination of Raja Yoga. It can make one have a lot of wealth. They use the term called filthy rich in the in the Western world. Okay, so this is a combination. All right. Then Jupiter aspecting the moon in Leo. So this makes one very fortunate. It can make one earn wealth through the help of his or his or her spouse. Okay, so Jupiter aspecting Venus in Leo. This makes one extremely creative. Okay, so you can look at all the creative people in the world, like Beethoven, like you know, like Einstein, people who make a lot of discoveries, even people like Elon Musk. So these people, they will have Jupiter aspecting Venus in the sun sign, or they could have Jupiter, aspecting Venus in Jupiter's sign. Okay, so it is the standpoint of creativity. Okay. Uh, Jupiter aspecting, yeah, I said about Venus. Okay, I forgot about Mars, right? Okay, so Jupiter aspecting Mars in Leo. So this can make one very truthful to preceptors and friends. Okay, it can make one perform a lot of difficult tasks. It can make one very pious, as well as transform one into into a leader as the time progresses. Okay, however, these people are oblivious of their abilities. You've seen the story of Hanuman, isn't it? You've seen the story of Hanuman as to how he was oblivious of his own strength, and then Jambavan, you know uh, inspired him to take a leap across the ocean, and he realized his potency. So that is Mars in Leo and being aspected by Jupiter. Okay, then comes Jupiter aspecting Mercury in Leo. So this makes one a brilliant scientist. Okay, particularly in modern age, it can make one into a brilliant data scientist. Okay, it can transform one into a good orator, minister, scholar, as well as a leader. Okay, Jupiter aspecting, I think I've spoken about Venus. Jupiter aspecting Saturn in Leo. So Saturn in Leo is not good, but then if Jupiter aspects it, it can make one comfortable later on in life. Okay, it can make one fall from, however, that comfort can also come at the cost of a fall. That means, you can have a really bad childhood, and then you make a lot of money later on in your life, and then all of a sudden you fall from grace. Okay, so that is Saturn in Leo aspected by Jupiter. Okay, so Jupiter aspecting planets in either Sagittarius or Pisces, how does that behave? Right, if it is the sun, if the sun is in Sagittarius or Pisces and aspected by Jupiter, such a person would be opposed to the ruler, shunned by friends and relatives. Okay, and sun in Sagittarius, sun in Sagittarius, yes, especially aspected by Jupiter, it can make one not capable of keeping promises. Okay, it can make one not capable of keeping promises. Okay, so try to see if that works in certain charts, because it does work. All right, then the moon in Pisces or Sagittarius aspected by Jupiter. So this is a good placement, because it can bless one with several comforts. It can make one desired by people from the opposite gender. Okay, but such people can suffer from a lot of arrogancy that comes after possessing, a lot of wealth and status. Okay, Jupiter aspecting Mars in Sagittarius or Pisces. So this can make one, this can make one cruel, this can make one hurtful with words and actions. But these people are usually the first ones to help others in terms of difficulties. Okay, in terms of bad times. You've seen how, you've seen at the time of accidents, some people, they just risk everything, they just throw caution to the wind, and then they go and try to help the injured who suffer in an accident, or who have suffered from an accident. So these are the people. Okay, these people will usually have Mars in a Jupiterian sign and being aspected by Jupiter. Okay, so Jupiter aspecting Mercury in Sagittarius or Pisces. So this can make one a minister, or a king. It can give one a lot of good status. Okay, however, there is a problem with this as well. It is that it makes a person to be a people pleaser. Okay, it can make one a people pleasing personality. That means you do not want to offend anyone, you want to please everyone around you. So that is a problem. Okay, so Jupiter aspecting Venus in Sagittarius or Pisces. Venus, of course, becomes exalted in Pisces. Okay, so this can make one, this can make one wealthy, contented, famous, long lived. And these are the people who are very selfless in their service and their devotion. Okay, Jupiter aspecting Saturn. Now Saturn has Jupiter aspecting Saturn in Sagittarius or in Pisces. So Saturn, it will usually do good in Jupiterian signs. Okay, just like Jupiter does bad in Saturn signs, similarly Saturn will do good in Jupiterian signs. Okay, so all the significations of Saturn, like hard work, like ability to do a certain thing for long hours. Okay, uh, the ability to let go, all these characteristics are enhanced by Jupiter. However, on the flip side, such a person can be very unclean. Okay, can be very timid, and sometimes these people can amass a lot of wealth or make a lot of wealth, and suddenly, they can make a bad investment or a bad investment choice or a bad investment decision, and then the money can go away from them. Okay, so Jupiter aspecting the signs of Saturn, right? That means Jupiter aspecting the planets in Capricorn and Aquarius. If the sun goes into Capricorn or Aquarius and is aspected by Jupiter, the person can have physical deformity right at birth. Okay, the person can be prone to prone to weak bones, can be prone to bone cancer. However, such a person, if a person persists with his difficult conditions, that if a person persists with his or her difficult conditions that they encounter in childhood, then they can make it big towards the later part of their life, after 36, after Saturn matures. Okay, Jupiter aspecting the moon in Capricorn or Aquarius, this can bless a person with sharp intellect. It can make one religiously inclined. It can make one respectful to parents. However, there would be a lot of mental clutter. Okay, clutter, not clatter. There would be a lot of mental clutter that a person has to overcome. There would be a lot of emotional trauma that the person would be carrying on from his or her previous life. All right, Jupiter aspecting Mars in Capricorn or Aquarius. Of course, Mars gets exalted in Capricorn, so such a person would be would be having a razor sharp intellect. Such a person would be very brave, fights for the righteous. However, Mars in Aquarius aspected by Jupiter can make a person very, very arrogant. Okay, Jupiter aspecting Mercury in Saturnian sign, so this can make a person fall into debt. Okay, this can make a person fall into bad loans. For example, you may lend money to someone, and then that someone does not return your money. It happens. I don't know what is the case in the West, but in India, a lot of people lend money at a certain interest, that is for a certain percentage, and then people take their money and then they don't get back a single rupee. So that is Jupiter in the sign of Mercury. Mercury in the sign of Saturn aspected by Jupiter. Okay, then comes Venus. If Venus is in Capricorn or Aquarius, it means there is a lot of relationship karma to overcome. Okay, and such a person is usually loved by multiple partners, and they are bestowed with numerous physical pleasures as well as possessions. Okay, Jupiter aspecting Saturn in Capricorn or Aquarius, so such a person would have a high moral character. As I said, Jupiter's aspects enhances Saturn. Okay, not only Saturn not only does good in Jupiterian signs, even Jupiterian aspects enhances Saturnine qualities. Okay, it can make one very learned, and it can make one learn traditional subjects rather than modern subjects. Okay, so this is about Jupiter in various signs, as well as Jupiter's aspects on planets in various signs. I'm open to your questions. If not, we can end this class and we will be proceeding towards Venus. Okay, Jupiter aspecting Ketu in Pisces. Okay, so Pisces can be regarded as a Mula Trikona for Ketu. Okay, so when Jupiter aspects Ketu, the person would have a very strong intuition. That is number one. Okay, number two, the person would be very erratic in making decisions, because Ketu does not do good in water signs. Although Pisces is a Mula Trikona for Ketu, many consider Pisces to be a Mula Trikona for Ketu, but Ketu does not do good in water signs. So the person can make erratic decisions. For example, say you thought that this investment will work, and then you made that investment. You went ahead and made that investment. Every cell of your body told you that this thing is going to work, and then you went ahead and made that investment, and all of a sudden the investment did not work and you lost your money. Okay, that is Jupiter aspecting Ketu, but it gives you very, very deep knowledge about certain topics of spirituality. Okay, so if you have Jupiter aspecting Ketu, please have a guru. Okay, you'll be making a lot of progress in your life. Okay, yeah, Shannon.
What if Jupiter isn't there aren't any planets like in the houses? Like for me, the first aspect and the ninth, there's no planets, but like the fifth, am I saying that right? Yeah, has
Yeah,
a
yeah,
planet in there. Uh-huh.
yeah. So Jupiter aspecting a house without any planets would expand the significations of that house. For example, say if Jupiter is
So it's aspect with me. Sorry to talk for you. The first is the fifth aspect
the fifth aspect is wisdom.
is
Okay,
the
it will
sun, but it's Leo in the house, but there's no planet there.
yeah, you have to see which house is ruled by Leo in that case.
Leo rules the first house.
Okay,
And
so
yeah, and that's the house Jupiter is aspecting.
okay, so the fifth aspect of Jupiter is falling on your ascendant, isn't it? That's what you were saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. So what happens is all the wisdom comes from your own experience. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
have to experience
That's
it.
true.
Yeah, you cannot say that I've learned this by from someone else's experience. So you have to learn it from your own experience, otherwise you will not learn. Okay.
That's true. And then the seventh aspect, Mercury's there. So on the ninth aspect, no planet there, but Jupiter rules that house.
Yeah.
So
The ninth aspect is on which
no
house?
problem. The fifth house and Jupiter rules it. There's no planet
Okay.
there as well.
Okay.
But the
So
seventh, Mercury is in the seventh on the seventh aspect.
right. So Mercury, you should try to you should try to learn as much as you can, because learning will actually make you feel very whole and complete.
That's for the seventh aspect, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, but the ninth, there's nothing there, and that Jupiter rules that house.
yeah. And
So that's
which
where the
house does
problem
it?
is,
Which
right?
house?
The ninth aspect
Which house does it
is on
fall in?
it falls on the fifth house,
Okay, so
and
this can,
Sagittarius is there.
yeah, so this can lead to, it can lead to heartbreaks. It can lead to, dashing of hopes also, dashing of hopes and dreams. You thought something and then something did not
Oh
work out.
gosh, that happens. It
Yeah,
does. But you're right with the Mercury being in the seventh aspect. I really can adapt and to different situations quite quickly. That's true.
yeah,
All right, thank you so much.
yes. Okay, so Jupiter aspecting Rahu in Capricorn. I have Jupiter with Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Ketu in Cancer Lagna. My Mercury, Jupiter was worse than ongoing Mercury, Saturn. Okay, see, it depends on Lagna. Okay, Rahu in Capricorn is not good, right? And you have Jupiter with Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Ketu in Cancer. So this is a Pravarajya Yoga. Okay, Pravarajya is a condition where four planets except the nodes are sitting in, more than three planets except the nodes are sitting in one house. So we have Jupiter, Sun, Moon, and Mercury. So four planets plus one node sitting right there in the first house. Okay. So you have to, you have to find a guru. Otherwise, that house will break. Okay, that house will break. It's producing a lot of pressure in the ascendant. So you must be feeling a lot of, a lot of difficulties when you have to make important decisions, right? Because Lagna is your discerning factor. Although Jupiter is exalted, that is okay, that is there, but you know it's causing a lot of pressure in your discerning power, in the power of your discretion. Okay, my Mercury Jupiter was worse than Mercury Saturn. Yes, because you have Moon and Mercury together, so Mercury is pulling out all the water from Cancer. Okay, So the juice is being taken out, basically, right? Jupiter aspecting retrograde Saturn in Virgo. So retrograde Saturn, you have to see which house is ruled by retrograde Saturn, and the significations of those houses will be enhanced. All right. Moon and Jupiter being, Moon and Jupiter being combust. Yes, lots of health issues you will get. Of course, you will get a lot of health issues because the first house is your health as well. Okay. Moon and Jupiter being combust out of those 5 planets. Moon is not combust. Okay. Moon is never combust. And there is a singular good factor that makes Jupiter, and that is another reason why Jupiter is called a benefic planet, because if Jupiter gets combust, it does not, it does not cause any problems to the sun. If other planets get combust, then even the sun is afflicted. But if Jupiter gets combust, it takes all the affliction on its own. You can come and hit me, I'll not go and damage the sun. So that is one good thing. Okay. So Jupiter is combust. That is the reason you are having those health issues, because your 6th house is ruled by Jupiter. Cancer Lagna, 6th house is Jupiter ruled. So your immunity is being compromised on that front. Okay. All right then. I hope I have answered the questions. And thank you so much for joining. I'll see you in the next class. Okay. Namaste, everyone. Okay, is there any message?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Om Gurave Namaha.